thought we might have a drink in here, now that they've all gone back to town.
Father's old study.
Father's old study. The only room in the house we didn't change.
Yes, I can see that. Same chairs, same decanters.
Yes, for nostalgia keeps its contemporary.
You have changed the telephone.
Well, it's my reading and business room. What'll it be? Johnny. What'll it be?
Oh, whiskey and water, all right.
Yes. Couldn't be better. I'm having the same myself. How much water?
Half and half.
Ah, yes, we are brothers, aren't we?
Sorry?
Same tipple as the old man.
Oh?
Oh, come in. Here's your drink.
Thanks. Oh. It's quite a day. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. An awfully long, bloody day.
Sorry, David. Must have been a strain for you.
Well, it was hardly the gay Gordons.
Hardly.
At times like this, I do find my son's wives an unnecessary burden. They do nothing but talk about their damned children.
I thought grandparents were supposed to adore their grandchildren.
Oh, there you go with "we're supposed to." There's a hint of social conspiracy there. We're expected to adore, spoil, indulge, the lot. Talk to the blasted kids about the good old days. Anything but behave like mature human beings dealing with mixed infants.
You're a crusty sod.
Well, whenever Sarah's name was mentioned, and she was, of course, the main feature, they had to take a respite from their maternal vying over their offspring's virtues out of deference. So they sulked, eyes down. They glowed with sulk.
I take it you don't like your daughters-in-law.
Now, how could I? One's common and rich, the other's poor and posh. I look down on one, the other one looks down on me. Not necessarily in that order.
Huh?
Oh, I know what I mean. Besides, it's such a drag having to explain her title to people. I know damn well she's an earl's daughter, but like to have it spelled out to them just the same. And usually by me. Young David invariably slips off when any explanation of his wife's courtesy title is due. I'd like to feel it's out of shame, but it's probably only a mix of idleness and boredom. Why couldn't he have married Safe City instead of church mouse aristocracy?
Don't like him either, eh?
Not overly keen. His waist is thickening and he's barely 30. The other fellow looks as if he's got worms. He probably has if he eats her food. And I don't like having the clergy about the house getting underfoot.
Well, that was unavoidable. This is. So do stop wandering about, old son. Try sitting down.
All right. But I don't see why it's unavoidable. He's paid to do the job. Why should I have to feed him? Another drink, Johnny.
Oh, I haven't finished this yet. You've not even started yours.
Neither I have. Well, I have now.
Going to get drunk?
No. I tried that last night. Didn't work. It's good of you to stay over.
Oh, well, I'd stay longer, but I must be back in France tomorrow.
Good of you to come at all.
No, you're my brother.
You always see things so simply, don't you?
Does that imply criticism?
Oh, no. Pure envy. You sure you don't want another drink?
Which means you do. All right. Just top it up.
Thanks, Johnny. Nice to see you again.
Well, it's been a long time. Too long.
No. I always knew you were there. I thought she would have come. I kept on thinking she would have come.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Doesn't seem fair.
Yes.
Why haven't you ever married? Are you a homosexualist? Sarah and I often wondered.
Sarah did?
We both did.
No. I just never got around to marriage. Oh, I've had my bien-aimé, of course, but I'm too selfish to make the final commitment.
Well, that never stopped the majority of mankind.
Well, let's say I didn't fancy sharing a bathroom permanently.
Norm said loving someone was being able to unthinkingly share the same toothbrush with them.
Then I have never been in love.
Oh, you're so squeamish.
I prefer fastidious.
But that's only a day school way
You're
of
going
saying
to
the
pick
same
on
thing.
me.
For something. It was a shock.
Yes.
But it's always other people's wives. But I suppose, by the law of averages, one day it's got to be one's own.
Yes.
And she was a good driver. Nothing the matter with the car. Swerved to avoid a dog. Died instantly on impact, the inspector said. Death by misadventure. A curious expression, but useful. I'm going to sell this house.
No?
Do you mind?
Why do you ask?
Because, oh, I don't know. We were both born here, that sort of thing. Belonging.
Oh, don't worry about that. I've no sentiments about it. Oh, it was handy on leave, but I haven't thought of belonging to it since I went to school. I knew you'd get it one day, so I dismissed it from my life years ago. But still, I'd give it a couple of months before you do anything. You might change your mind.
I might, but I won't. So I'll do as you say. I was going to anyway. I just wanted to put you in the picture. 32 years. It's a long time.
Well, you married young.
So father screamed at the time. Bet you thought the house was going to be yours after all.
Well, thank God it never came up. May I? I had no intentions of going into publishing. I can assure you, never had. Always knew I'd live abroad. You must admit, I'm the perfect expatriate type.
True. I love going abroad.
Yes, David, you love going abroad, but I live there. What's the difference? Anyway, as an observer, I knew the old man would get over it. Sarah charmed him, and he not only had the perfect son to slip into the firm, but a delightful hostess.
Yeah. Yes. She was good at that. She made it a profession. Oh, my God.
Sorry.
No. No, it's not that. I wanted to be a writer, and Sarah wanted to paint.
That's a university scarf.
Yes. Gower Street. Sorry, what's the book?
Nudes. Nude studies.
Oh? Female nudes?
Oh, God, no. Male. Male nudes.
Oh.
Well, it has to be.
Why?
Well, who needs female nudes? All I have to do is take off my clothes and look at myself in the mirror, and there it is. With men, I have to be a little more clinical.
I never thought of that.
Only came to me the other day.
But I wound up a publisher and Sarah a hostess. A dead hostess.
Don't be maudlin.
Isn't that rather harsh?
Well, that was the idea.
Quite right. Still, I thought she would have come.
Now, what are you talking about?
Kirsten.
Who?
Kisch.
Oh.
Funny, we only meet at funerals.
5 years ago, Fathers.
We had still had that flat in town.
Yes, you moved down here then.
Didn't want to. Then I just got it right and now this.
Well, that's what I mean about not selling the place in haste.
Oh, I don't want to live here. We only came here after Kisch went away. God, I miss that flat.
Why did you go away?
Lots of reasons. Mainly because she was pregnant.
Oh, God. These girls. I thought they were on the pill here nowadays.
Oh, no. The single parent, unmarried mother business is one of the old country's few growth industries. Do you want another drink, Johnny?
Well, if you're going to have one, I'll join you. This room's getting to me in a rather uncomfortable way, I'm afraid.
You're afraid?
Well, curiously enough, afraid is the right word. I've had many fearful and unsatisfactory interviews in this room.
Ah, Father.
Of course. Unsatisfactory insofar as they were always half-hearted. I bought them every time. I'd steel myself for a severe wigging because I was genuinely afraid of the old boy. And then, halfway through the interview, perhaps about my English master's report, inattention to detail, faulty grammar, the usual thing, I realized, always with a mild shock, that the ogre of my fears was only marginally interested in my progress. Was merely doing what he deemed to be his parental duty. And very perfunctorily at that. Thanks.
For the drink or for being your elder brother?
Both. Anyway, when I finally realized that the old man was going to regard me as second 11 stuff as long as you were alive, I thanked God and prayed for your long life and continuing good health. Got on with living my own life. Still, the room does make me feel uneasy.
Well, shall we move?
No. It's all right. Now that I've told you about it, I've expiated it.
I still thought you might have come.
What?
Just walked in on us.
Oh.
Sarah was very fond of her. People thought they were mother and daughter.
And they thought you were her father. You were both very fond of her.
We loved her.
Yes, of course. She was with you a long time.
6 years and 3 months.
To be that exact in public is careless.
I'm not in public. I'm with my brother in private, so don't slap my wrist.
Nevertheless.
Oh. Do you remember when you first met Kisch?
No.
You must.
I said I didn't.
I remember when I did.
I remember when I first met Sarah. in a British restaurant. 2 shillings and 6pence ceiling on all meals.
You liked her.
Of course I liked her.
Yeah. She was likable.
This place taken?
No. Help yourself.
Thanks. Oh, did you want a light?
Well, I did want to smoke.
Of course.
It was the hint of Slav. High cheekbones and slant eyes. A bit butch, but the most elegant, slender legs redeemed that. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm nursing this one. No, Sarah's greatest thing is what we call in France the terrible gift of familiarité. The moment you met her, you felt you'd always known her. We could resume a conversation 3 years later as though she'd just left the room the moment before to close a banging door.
Whenever she had an adventure, just fun, the men always wanted to make a long-term thing of it. For her, it was just a moment. But she always said how boring it was. They always wanted to make it a major production. As far as she was concerned, it was over. They thought it was l'éternel retour. Hey, do you remember that?
No.
Do you mind to give me a bit of warning? I could have had a popsy of my own coming round.
She's not a popsy. She's an art student.
I was always excited by her adventures. Sarah the cat, who always came back to me.
Right.
Why don't be so stuffy? She's dead.
That's why I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. So, this is the famous Sarah.
And you're the famous David.
John is given to hyperbole. She beautiful shoulders.
Beautiful.
And loganberries for nipples.
Oh, for God's sake.
You're my brother, my unmarried brother.
Yes, but I'm not celibate, not your priest. And I am fastidious.
Maybe I'm trying to expiate myself.
I was talking about my father then. Our father.
And I'm talking about my wife to my brother. It seems all our sins are family ones.
But I didn't see my relationship with the old man as sinful. I'm sorry if you see your marriage as...
Sinful? Well, it had all the elements. Most close relationships do.
Oh, please, David, you're putting me in an impossible situation.
What?
If we go on like this, I'll be forced to ask you to define sin, and that'd never do.
Why not? I'm game. I've had religion turned on me all day. Man that is born of woman, conceived in sin. Not to mention loads of junk commandments from Leviticus. Yeah, a while back, you, metaphorically speaking, were uncovering your father's nakedness, so why blackmail me when I do the same to my wife?
Because I'm... I was her brother-in-law. Thou shalt not uncover thy brother's wife's nakedness, for it is thy brother's nakedness.
Yeah. Incest is a heady brew. Are you a Puritan?
First I'm a homosexual, now I'm a Puritan. Why do you ask?
Must be because I want to know, so tell me, are you a Puritan?
No. But I'm a passionate believer in the fitness of things.
Sarah wasn't.
So you say.
You know very little of Sarah.
I know the public image of Sarah, and I'll settle for that. And I think it's wrong that you, with 3 large Scotties on an empty belly, should try and erode that image.
I may be crusty, but by God, you're pompous.
Why? Because I resist confidences that you'll regret tomorrow? Don't make me sorry I stayed over, David.
Well, if I can't talk to you, who do I talk to? Either the fat boy and his twin-setted argent escutcheoned wife, or the teeth-grinding clean bone and his minican anthropophaginian ball cracker. Hey, you try saying that on 3 large scotches on an empty belly. It's the drinking man's answer to Christian Science. I'm hungry.
Well, I'm a bit peckish myself.
I don't know where you get these expressions from. Peckish indeed.
Probably from my day school.
Yeah, you were lucky not to go to Shelbourne.
Chance would have been a fine
Oh, well,
thing.
you shut up and come on into the kitchen.
Oh. Can I tap Father's barometer?
Whatever for?
Oh, because it's there. Something I've always wanted to do.
God, you are a fool, Johnny. Feel free. No, not like that. Give it a whack. Do you feel better, dearie?
Oh, heaps.
Come on, come on.
Game to Solomon. Solomon leads by 2 games to 1.
Well, McNamara is really finding it
Better.
difficult to settle down. He's making a lot of mistakes which you wouldn't expect him to
I'll
do.
just stack these things in the dishwasher. The Daily comes back tomorrow.
This is rather good.
Very fast around.
Praise from the expert.
Not the right technique.
I'm no expert.
I thought all the French were experts.
Oh, no. And I'm like all the rest of them. I buy my wine at the supermarket. It's Bon Marché.
Another illusion gone.
I must say you've transformed this place. It's not the dark enemy territory of my day.
Well, we stripped and bleached the old panels and put in modern units. We eat and hear a lot. The house is much too big for us.
Yes, I can see that.
I'll let you have some of the money I get for it.
Oh.
No, but it's fair. A third.
Oh.
I'll need the balance to buy a flat in town.
I've no idea of property values in the UK.
Well, as unlike me, you're not in trade, you don't have to. Anyway, your place in Paris is charming.
Oh, I bought it from an OAS family at the right time in the right arrondissement.
Our will has presented me with a few problems.
Has it?
Oh, yes, it has. I'll join you. Well, we'd always been completely frank with each other about everything, I thought. Apparently, I was wrong.
Oh?
Oh, yes. Well, she'd left most things to me. Even after death duties, she was quite rich. Naturally, bequests to the boys and grandchildren. £1,000 to Kisch. Her jewelry is to be divided between the 2 wives and Kisch.
You see?
Oh, you do?
Oh, you're surprised?
Not about the £1,000. I knew about that. No, it's the jewelry that's caused the trouble. The fat boy's wife, the lady, she burst into genuine tears when she was told.
Oh.
It was quite a little number.
Oh, yes, I see now why you were upset about Kish not being here. In that case, she ought to have come.
Why ought she? Presumably she doesn't know, unless she reads the Continental Daily Mail, Scandinavia's boss.
Oh, what do you mean? You obviously were expecting her. What did she say when you told her?
I didn't.
Oh, why not?
I couldn't.
Of course you could.
I don't know where she damn well is. last we heard from her was after the baby was born. All letters we sent her after that came back, gone away, or not known at this address.
It will be by the time we have my first sitting.
When will that be?
7:30 this evening.
Ah.
At my place.
Of course.
Well, well, well.
You didn't know about the will?
I thought I did. But it seemed Sarah had secrets.
Well, don't we all?
I thought not.
Oh, come on now. The old man nearly had a fit when Mother died, and he discovered after 40 years of marriage he had nearly £50,000 in the bank. In the light of that, I'm not surprised that Sarah had done things you didn't know.
For heaven's sake, this is completely different. Father and Mother were actual Victorians. Sarah and I pooled our lives. Get it right, I don't mind about the will. I'm just surprised I didn't know about it, although it figures.
Does it?
Yes, it does. It's a female secret. No skin off my nose, but none of her adventures were.
Kisch was hardly an adventure.
You think not?
Oh, I see. The daughter she never had.
Oh, John, how you talk.
Yes. Especially when I'm holding a conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted someone to understand.
Well, I'll try.
Look, she was only 18 when she arrived here on our doorstep. I'd met her briefly as a child in Viborg, but nothing. I'd been publishing her uncle's works in translation for years. He didn't pay, but he was prestigious. He looked good in the lists. Suddenly, out of the blue, he wrote to me saying she was studying English and would be coming to England in the fall prior to going to university. His expression, not mine. So he wrote asking if we could put her up for a couple of weeks and keep an eye on her. It wasn't madly convenient, but not downright inconvenient either. He offered to pay, of course, but I wouldn't hear of it.
I know all this.
I want to get the record straight.
All right.
So I said, yes, send her. Sarah said at the time, remember we're going to Bondall in August? And I said, oh, she'll be gone long before that.
That's when you stayed in my villa.
Right. She wasn't my idea of a dame. All long brown hair and big dark eyes. Later on, she told us her grandmother was southern Italian. But she didn't have any of that Calabrian peasant dumpiness. She wasn't squat, she was slender. Oh, come on, let's face it, she was skinny. I never believed any of that Italian stuff. Of course, it was all nonsense about her learning English. She spoke it perfectly, and within a few weeks, without a trace of an accent, if you allow for that flat shepherd's bush twang they all seem to have nowadays. She was endearing, but I felt no respect for her. It was just the fun of having a girl about the place. The boys had gone to Martha's Vineyard for the summer. Sarah enjoyed it too. They were constantly in huddles, sniggering and being sly. I officially hated it. It made me deliciously irritable and jealous, but safely superior. You know what I mean? It made me feel like a man, daddy. something to come home to. I began to look forward to this inane conspiracy against me. It was a game. Get David to take us out. Get David to buy us a new set of Habitat bowls. Get David to... Oh, just get David to... It was very reassuring. It was an aphrodisiac as well, that grew slowly until it became a way of life. I found myself, well, thinking about them shopping. Janet Rhaegar, cool O'Donnell, sat in underwear on warm early summer days in Shaftesbury Avenue.
To a monkey.
What?
Nothing. Go on.
Well, it certainly heightened Sarah and me. I mean, that creature in the next room, breathing. That ridiculous kid. And Sarah, so deep and warm. Think of one, make love to the other. It was an idyllic time. But not true. Something was bound to happen.
And Sarah was happy?
Well, she was amused.
That is silly enough.
Why?
It sounds so effective. Sarah was never pretentious.
You've missed the point, Johnny. Sarah was fed up with men and was amused with just being a woman.
Oh, come on. Sarah was always a woman.
Yes, but wasn't allowed to enjoy it. It was me, father, the two boys, most of my friends and clients. All fellas. Can't you see that? I can. Just to be allowed to be a bird every now and again. Talk your head off and talk silk, lace and tampax. They are entitled, you know.
You're making her sound frivolous.
Well, she'd every right to be. I suppose you've noticed that women always laugh more freely when they are alone with other women. No competitiveness, no looking over the shoulder or under the lashes at him. Let the guard down, no man sniffing around. Anyway, they're allowed to touch each other. We haven't broken them of that yet.
You're quite a feminist.
No. But I've lived in my leather-chaired, tobacco-stained men's club world for too long. I've never really tried putting being a woman together.
There's nothing to put together. Sarah was the most womanly lady I ever met. You were lucky to have her as a wife.
I agree. I just don't think for a long time I did enough.
I don't think you really realize just how lucky you've been all these years.
I assure you I do.
From where I'm sitting, you're not very convincing.
I loved Sarah.
I should hope so. Otherwise...
But I loved Kish.
Kirsten.
Kish.
Oh, for God's sake, do we have to go back to the nursery? Her name was Kirsten.
Sarah and I called her Kish, always Kish.
Oh, have it your own way. I think I've heard enough.
There isn't enough. I've just buried my wife. And you're the only person in the world I can talk to. You might at least listen to me, John.
All right. I'll listen.
But
I reserve the right to come back at you.
fair? Nothing's for nothing. Well, it was a hothouse in the flat that summer. We took to wandering around South Ken and Earl's Court in those long, steamy evenings when it had cooled just enough only to be pleasant out of doors. We found an absurd Indian restaurant run by the inevitable Mr. Patel and drank ice-cold Yugoslav rice-sling with burning hot chicken vindaloo and laughed a lot. And wandered home holding each other by the hand. Occasionally, I'd take Kisch out to cocktail parties. Sarah suggested it. The one she didn't want to go to. They went out and bought her a dress. She looked very lovely in it, and it fitted her like skin. I said so, and they both got the giggles. Apparently it was so tight, it precluded knickers and bra. And that was the first night I kissed her. Only good night, lightly on the cheek. But she turned, and I brushed her lips. It was delicate physically, but very disturbing for a man of my age, I can tell you. And all the time it was getting nearer to Bondor. Anyway, I came home one evening and they were both very quiet. I could sense they were up to something. I had my bath and changed. Sarah came into the bedroom. Yes, I said. I want Kisch to come to the villa with us. The kid's never been to France. Sure, I said. Elaborately casual. I couldn't trust myself to say anything else. Sarah came over and kissed me and said, darling, no more. And then we went into the living room and had our evening drink. I needed it, I can tell you. After a bit, Kisch came in. I didn't say anything. She looked at Sarah, who did something so out of character. It was quite unbelievable. She winked at Kisch. I gagged on my drink. The next thing I knew, the both of them were kissing me all over my face. A far from unpleasing experience, I can assure you.
Oh, I'm inclined to agree with you.
Well, then it was all planning. Clothes, bikinis, lotions, and whispered consultations. Them, not me.
Of course, it established the pattern.
We decided to drive to the south of France, not fly.
You'll hardly mind my asking, but had you had other women besides Sarah during the years that you were married?
Well, yes, but never an affair. Nothing that lasted. Moments. I never really felt the need. Sarah was always the most important thing. And her adventures meant nothing to me. She was very lovely. The most lovely thing I'd ever known.
Yes.
Oh, you agree?
Quite.
Well, did you know anyone lovelier?
No. Not really. Ever.
Anyway, by the time we were due to go, it had become a major expedition, feverish. Every time I came home, they were wallowing in brochures and had planned detours. The Camargue. I had to be very firm about that. No. They sulked. But when I came home that evening, they were both lazy, swollen-eyed, compliant. Oh, I should have known. But I'd got my way, so I was happy. Or at least reassured. Pater familias.
Maître de ménage.
Then they embarked on a new game. Kitting Out David, it was called. They'd arrive at my office with outrageous beach boy outfits for me. They really were going too far. I had to put my foot down about that. Well, I mean, not at the office. So they still bought the stuff for home consumption. It was the late 60s, and money seemed to be no consideration, and I nightly became a male model. I'd get in from the office, and Sarah would give me a large drink and say, "We've been shopping." That word became exotic. And the two of them would produce all sorts of lightweight suits and black see-through shirts. I had made it clear I drew the line at flared jeans, so it was Riviera Azure slacks and Italian hugging yachting pants. You know, the sort gigolos wore in Portofino. And I couldn't pacify them till I tried them all on. I was nicely embarrassed. Foolish, but flattered. The preparations for France were almost as good as going there. In fact, going there was almost unnecessary.
You did say you felt foolish.
Only falsely. I rather enjoyed it. I suppose I'm really rather vain. I was then. I growled but inwardly purred.
Well, you're part of their game.
Essential to it. And they to mine.
Oh, dear.
What does that mean?
You tell me.
Well, then on a fine day, at the beginning of August, we went. Breezed across the channel overnight and got to Marseille that evening.
You stayed at La Résidence, of course.
Yeah. They thought we were mother, father, and daughter until they'd read our registration. We had a suite with an adjoining bedroom for Kisch.
The great golden Christ lowering over the town.
Went to the wrong restaurant, the old port.
Oh, not the one that go across the harbor?
That's it. Magnificent food. Cost a fortune. Langoustine. Then more shopping. Then your villa along the coast. The air conditioning had broken down.
A reproach.
Fact. That first evening, we went swimming at that hotel up on the hill. We had a great meal at that place below. I remember quiche et pomme dauphine. Then more swimming. And then Sarah went back to the villa. I kissed her goodnight.
Sarah.
Kisch. She was wearing duck trousers and a striped matelot t-shirt. But this time I kissed her properly. Of course I was drunk. I was. When we got back to the villa, Sarah was in a mood, moody and difficult. Sent Kisch to bed with a flea in her ear. I went to sleep for a couple of hours and woke up sweating. Sarah was awake, smoking. I said, "Sorry, love." She puffed on her cigarette and said, "Stop being a fool." I was still slightly drunk. I said, "Darling, what are you talking about?" And she said, "David, go to her." And I did. I went on to the landing and into Kisch's room. She was wide awake, smoking. I kissed her for a while. Then she led me by the hand back to Sarah's in my room. Sarah was wide awake. She was naked. Sarah turned on the light. She looked at us, she smiled. She said, "Darling." We fell into each other. It began. We made love. Of course, I'd been blind. Very blind. It had been going on with them for weeks. But now we were together. The three of us. I loved her. Kisch loved us both. Or did she? Or did we, or did I? Anyway, Kisch always said she wanted a baby, not a husband, just a baby, before she was 25. And one day, Sarah told me Kisch was pregnant.
Yours.
And hardly Sarah's. Kisch went to Denmark to have the baby. Sarah arranged it. I was against her going, but Sarah was firm. Not here, she said. Anyway, you're mine. I love you. When the baby's born, time enough to think. We loved each other and waited. She sent us funny letters. She always found sex enormously funny, and she thought having a baby hilarious. Then the last letter. Same baby. Was a girl. And nothing. I've thought about her every day since then. So did Sarah. We'd be sitting alone. I'd look at her. And we'd both know we were thinking of Kisch.
I introduced you to Sarah.
What? Yes, I suppose so.
Suppose.
What?
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
No.
No. I've only wasted nearly 30 years in the diplomatic service. But at this stage of the game, it's not very important. Well, not really. I'm going to bed.
Have you understood anything I've been saying to you, Johnny?
Not really. This is rather good.
Sarah bought it.
Oh. Yes, you always had tastes far ahead of mine. Night, David.
Well, at least someone else knows Sarah was an adventurer.
I always knew.